Hi everyone and welcome to Craftmas episode 3. This look is not really how I expected to start episode 3. I was super excited over the weekend to start the next week, filming and vlogging and all of that, but things didn't really go as planned. It's currently around 6 p.m. and I'm already in my robe and my Harry Potter pajamas because I really need to chill out for a moment. It's Wednesday today, so the past 2 days I've mostly been working on my ebook, just making patterns and then filming everything, which really slows me down. And then today I had to really catch up on some orders, so I still had a blouse to sew, some other bags to make, then had to ship them all, and it was quite a lot to package it all nicely. And honestly, I've just been a little bit stressed, which is why I really haven't had the time or energy to pick up the camera and especially to talk to the camera. But it's also a good thing for me to remember that this is not necessarily my job. I'm just doing this for fun, so I shouldn't put any pressure on myself to make these videos or to capture everything that I do in a day. But I do have some updates for you because a lot of things have changed over the past few days. So first of all, the ebook is not happening anymore. If the ebook was going to be released, it would have been yesterday on the 12th of December, and obviously that didn't happen. The reason why it's not happening is because I was just rushing it. I was really trying to get this done before the holidays so people could still make these gifts specifically for the holidays. And that meant that I was just stressing myself out and trying to get everything done and just working crazy hours and not really taking breaks and caring for my body. And I was also then giving maybe a product that I'm not 100% happy with. So it just didn't feel right for me to release it now just to try to make money, honestly, before the holidays. So I'm just not going to do that. One of my biggest goals that I have for 2024 is that I would really like to release a book. I feel like a book is really something that you can be very proud of because it's tangible. For me, I've never really been proud of my business, even though I have accomplished something, I've started a business, I've done this, but I don't really feel that sense that I'm proud of it yet, just because I think it's also because I just have so many goals and I'm not yet where I want to be. So then I figured, what better way than to just include all of the things that I've been working on for the past week or 1.5 weeks and include it in this book. I have changed the entire plan for the book and it's going to include probably 20 patterns, of which 10 of them are clothing and then 10 of them are accessories. So some of them you will already have seen and will be included there. I did find a couple of publishers that maybe would suit me or would like to produce my book, but I'm not sure. And also I'm not sure if then I'm allowed to share this kind of stuff. But right now it's up in the air, so I'm just gonna show you. So first of all, I made this little iPad or book cover. You can use it for multiple purposes, and I made it from a vintage Kanta fabric, which I think is very cute. Then I also made 2 scrunchies, one in a regular size. I call this the medium size. And then I also made one, be prepared, in an extra large size. So it's very big. If I want to wear it with my kind of thin hair, then I really have to put my hair in another elastic beforehand and then wrap it around twice, like this, and then put it in my hair, or else it's just too much. But I think if you have beautiful, thick, long, luscious hair, then this would be so good for you and it would look really damn adorable. And then the last thing that I made these past few days is a hot water bottle cover. And I made it in just a nice cotton paisley. Then did some bias tape and then you can just open it up like this. And that's all that I did, because I was mostly focused on making the illustrations, which is just always the biggest task ever. I'm quite happy with this decision, and I'm especially excited for next year to really start working on this book and to kind of get the first couple of pages finished, and then to maybe find a publisher, because I think that would be best. So my personal / knitting account used to be mippy.makes, but I've actually changed that to mippy_knits. So it's really an account that's only focused on knitting. I've really had this sense for a very long time actually, that I'm just really fed up and tired of Instagram, which I think a lot of small businesses can relate to. But I've just been too caught up in the algorithm and comparing myself, looking at how many likes I have, how many likes other accounts have. So I've always had this longing for a creative community and just a place where it's all about sharing, and not necessarily in a way that's then monetized. So I don't want to just say on my stories like, hey, I have a new dress, this is a link and this is how you can buy it, and that's it. Because as a business account, that's kind of the only thing that I could share. But with a more creative or personal account, you can share anything. I can teach things, I can learn from others, I can share what other people are making. And I think I can just have a lot of fun, more creatively speaking. So if you really want to support me or follow along my new journey, please do find me or find my Instagram in the link in the description, and I would really appreciate it. And now I want to show you my new fabric, because it's something exciting. And also my Christmas tree, in case you didn't notice. How cute is that? I actually have a unicorn on my Christmas tree, just because I can. But I received some new fabric in the mail, and it's a beautiful cotton flannel or a brushed cotton. So it's super wintry, and I'm so excited to make something with this. This is going to be for a new dress pattern that I'm working on, and it's going to have like a ruffled collar and some ruffles on the sleeves and pin tucks. Then lastly, I'm just going to grab my whips that I'm working on right now and show you those as well. First of all, we have the Christmas socks that I was working on. Right now I have one finished. It turned out a little bit shorter than I thought it would be, which kind of sucks because I added in that lifeline, but then in the end that lifeline is totally at the wrong placement or spot that it should be. I could undo the toe and do that again, but I really don't want to. So let me show you just a little bit of a close-up. This yarn or like this color is looking very white, but it's actually a very nice light and peachy pink. And then this is the toe that I did in some hand-dyed pink yarn. So I just need to do the afterthought heel, and I need to cast on the sister for this, but I really don't feel like it. So who knows when that's going to happen, but maybe or probably not anytime soon, to be honest. Then my main work in progress at the moment is this new sweater. And this is the Sade sweater that I said I was going to cast on by Sari Nordlund. I'm not sure if it's Sade or Sadie or Sade, but something along those lines. And this is how it's looking. This has been progressed since I think Sunday, so I feel like it's quite a slow knit. I'm knitting this on 4.5 millimeters instead of the 4 millimeters, just because I'm using a DK weight with a technical Aran weight sweaters with cables and things like this. They can be heavy, and I think that really suits the design actually. When you look at the vintage Aran cardigans and sweaters, ever touched or held one of those that are especially in the largest sizes, they probably weigh like a few kilograms, to be honest. This is probably the most intricate cables that I've ever knit. So I'm really enjoying the process and learning something new. But it's definitely challenging at times, just because you really have to pay attention to every row that you're on. But what I don't really like is that the pattern has 4 different charts. So you have a chart for the bubbles, for the side cable 1, the front cable, and then side cable 2. And then the thing that I don't like about that is not that there are 4, but that they all have a different amount of rows. So the bubble chart, for example, only has 20 rows, whilst the front cable goes up to 32 rows. So that then means that when you're on row, let's say 22 of the front cable, that means that then you're on row 2 of the bubble. But then the same goes for the side cables, both of them. And I think that makes it very confusing because technically you're on a row different everywhere. So I kind of had to change that a little bit to make it understandable for myself. But so far I'm really happy with how it's turning out. I just really like these bubbles. In the pattern she does the bubbles very differently than I do. I believe maybe she turns her work, but she definitely knits the bubbles over multiple rows, which I know other people also do it like that. So I just want to say one more time that there are easier ways to knit bubbles. A lot of people hate knitting bubbles. So what I do is I knit the front and the back of the stitch multiple times. Usually somewhere between 4 and 7 is a good amount. And then I will cast off those stitches over them. And then I will leave one. And then you will have a bubble. So it's immediately a bubble, which I think is also very nice. Because then I can imagine that if you have to make a bubble over multiple rows, that then you tend to maybe forget that you have to do it. And this is just an instant bubble, easy, quick, effective, and I think it looks cute as well. Those were really all of the things that I just wanted to catch up about. I hope you enjoyed this little segment, and I know it was a lot about my business, so I'm sorry about that, but it's a really big part of my life, so it's really difficult for me to not talk about it. I will see you in the next little segment. Hi everyone and welcome to the next part of Craftmas episode 3. As you can see, I have finished the dress that I said I was going to make. It's in a brushed cotton flannel, so it makes it very winter-proof and actually very warm. I'm just wearing a light wool t-shirt underneath, but I'm gonna show you the dress in some more detail. It basically has a Peter Pan collar with a little ruffle edge, then just a button placket here that is short, pin tucks at the front, of course a nice puffy shoulder, then it's kind of a fit and flare shape, so it goes from the bust and then flares out a little bit like that. And then the sleeves, they really gather a lot with a cuff with a ruffle, some small buttons, and then I like to do elastic to loop around the button. That way this is like stretchy, so I can easily fit it over my hands to get it on. And I think it turned out very cute and I'm just very happy with this first sample. I've made a little list with all of the adjustments that are possible. So for example, you could make it without the ruffle collar. You could make it with short sleeves or with long sleeves without the ruffle. Then you could make it with the button placket longer. You could make it as a top, a mini dress or a midi dress. There are so many variations to this design that are possible, which I find really exciting. This is going to be number 4 of my sewing patterns, or probably number 5 by the time that this comes out, because I have another pattern that's more or like further in progress, so it will be released sooner, probably in the beginning of January. And the only pattern that I've really had so far that had a lot of variations was the Amy project bag. And it's not that I don't want to give people variations, it's just that not every design suits so many variations. It has to be, I think, more basic from the beginning. Now, as I said, this does have pin tucks here at the front. But then I thought, well, pin tucks is not for everybody, because they're a little bit tricky to sew, I find. And then also, it doesn't suit every type of fabric. So before this, I made a sample in a cotton gauze fabric, and it was really not working with the pin tucks. So I want to add another option that is gathered instead of having pin tucks. And then that way there are also so many more possible variations that you can do. My next sample is going to be in a knit fabric, and then I'm gonna do it gathered and a midi length, so it's going to be totally different from this one. I calculated, and this pattern is going to have 72 variations, so that does mean it's going to be a very extensive process for me to grade it, to make the pattern, all of the pieces, and then of course to make the instructions, because it's not going to be very straight on or straightforward. No, you're gonna have 72 different variations, and I'm going to have to put that in the instructions as well. So it's going to be a fun project, I would say. Now that's enough about my little dress, although I'm very happy with it. Just putting this one here. I'm gonna show you the knits that I'm working on. So we have my main work in progress right now, the Sade sweater by Sari Nordlund. The last time that I showed you, well, I haven't progressed a lot, but I didn't notice that the last time that I showed you, I actually made a bunch of mistakes in the cable. It was that same evening. And I almost thought I would have to frog the entire thing because I've never fixed cables before. But then I decided, well, I'm just gonna give it a try and see if I can fix the cables. And if I can't, then I'm going to frog it all. But hopefully that's not the case. And luckily I was able to fix it. But basically here, for example, it was not twisting. Then here I had 4 of these instead of 3. Then I also had a mistake here. Now for the people that really know this pattern, there is still a mistake in here. And that's that there are 2 twists here, which is not how it's done in the pattern. But I did that on accident, and I actually love the way that it looks. I think it's one of the nicest details in this cable. Not to be shady to Sari Nordlund because I love her patterns, but this just gives it a little something. So I'm keeping it there. So that does mean that I had to change the charts a little bit, but I think it's going to be fine. It's a very cute project, and I think this sweater is going to turn out lovely, but it is just something that I really need to focus on. So I've decided to pick back up an old whip of mine, and it's the vintage texture cardigan, my own little design, that still needs a sleeve. So now I'm going to really frantically try to make that sleeve happen. Maybe I can wear it on my birthday, which is around a week away. That would be nice. Not that I need something to wear, but it's fun to wear something new always. But this is how it's looking so far. In my previous podcast you didn't see the button bands finished or the buttons. I only used it as my thumbnail, but in the video I believe it was not this far. So now you will also see. So this is how it's looking so far. As I've said, just started that sleeve like last night, so I've done like 4 centimeters. Not really much is happening here. But the sleeves are very easy to do. And that's why I chose to, pick up this pattern again and just have a nice difference from the cable knit thing that I'm working on. Then I also have one more gift knit to do, and I think I'm going to start that this weekend. And I really want it to be finished this weekend, and then I don't have to think about it again. Hopefully I'm able to do that. Then lastly, the buttons arrived for my Dawn jeans, so I might as well also show you that. And now in the daylight you can also see the actual color that it is. I'm kind of noticing now that everything is kind of the same color, but brown is one of my favorite colors, and I just find it a very good color right now in the winter. But these are the buttons that I picked. They are pink, or like a nude pink, and then with brown marl colors. Now I was also able to try them on, and they fit pretty well. I'm not sure how the jeans are going to behave, just given that they have 3% stretch in them. So I am worried that they're gonna stretch out quite a bit. But if they do, then it's a lesson learned, and I had a lot of fun making these jeans. I had this fabric, so I didn't spend any money. I only bought the buttons. So in the end, it's fine. And I also just really love the white leg of this. As you can see, I chose to not do any belt loops or metal hardware, because I want them to look more like pants rather than jeans. But here are the buttons finished. Now you can see a bit better. And I'm very happy with these. And I think they're going to be very cute. I always say cute, but I just find everything cute. And I was thinking, when this sweater is finished with these pants, I think that's a really nice outfit. Then yesterday I went to the thrift store and I was actually looking to get some zippers for some bum bags that I want to make, or like fanny bags. I call them bum bags because I think that sounds much nicer than a fanny pack. But they didn't have any zippers. However, they had a ton of fabric, so I actually made a little reel on my Instagram today. And I didn't film anything, of course, on the camera because I just feel very obnoxious bringing it with me and awkward, uncomfortable, all of the above. And on my phone it was already uncomfortable enough, but I'm happy that I did it. And in the end, nobody notices you, but you yourself just feel very weird. And I don't want to be the influencer type person in the wild. Does not make me very happy. But yeah, I ended up getting a ton of fabric, which are currently in the wash. They will be ready tomorrow or maybe later today, and then I will show you. I got a lot of them, so be prepared. But then I also got some jewelry pieces that I think are very nice. First of all, we have this little gold necklace with some freshwater pearls. They are 2 necklaces, but they are combined, so you just wear one necklace. And the second one has some type of coins. The tag says it was originally 18 euros, so for that price it cannot be a very fancy material. And this is the brand, in case you're wondering. It's called lovisa.com. Maybe they have gone bankrupt or they're not in business anymore, I'm not sure. Because this thrift store usually sells stuff from businesses that are not doing business anymore. And then I also picked up this little cute bracelet that has some type of natural stones and some gold in there as well. And I don't really wear bracelets very often, but I think it's very nice to, have something different. I wouldn't wear it with something like I'm wearing today, something printed and ruffly. It's a bit too much. But for example, like the cabled sweater, the pants, and then a little bracelet like this, I can live with that. I think that's really all that I wanted to catch up on, and maybe this will be the last little talking segment of this video. I do hope you enjoyed it. This new pattern of mine I'm going to name the Penny dress. First of all, because I think Penny is such a lovely name. I've had multiple items on my website called Penny or Penelope, but the sewing pattern is something that is gonna last and not sew out. And I would love to have something named Penny on my website forever. Then also Laura Penrose, who I love, and I'm watching her Vlogmas videos every single day. Her little girl is also named Penny or Penelope, and I think she's so darling. So I might as well name this pattern after, a beautiful name. And also Pennywise, the clown. Yeah. I think this is also kind of clown-like, so maybe it's a very suitable name after all. So yeah, I hope you are excited for the Penny dress. For one day it will be released. And I hope you also enjoyed this Craftmas episode 3. And I will see you next time. Bye bye!